Hey guys, welcome back to Miguel's Moment Plus One. In this episode, I don't just have one plus one, I have a two, and I have a three with Manuel, Diego, and bringing back Brandt Goodman. We have a little fun. This was a three-parter because we did go fairly long, but part two and part three were a little bit interesting, so I decided to not include those with the episode. But this is pretty much covers a lot of what we already talked about anyway on this little segment. So enjoy, and yeah. Now recording. Welcome back to Miguel's Moment. I'm so excited. I have my friends from Lemoore here. Woo! We're girls now. So I have Diego.
Hi.
Manuel.
Hello.
And Brandt's back. Welcome back, buddy.
Hello.
So So what we pretty much talk about on this podcast is I pretty much interview whoever my plus one today is, and today I have plus three. So, Diego, tell me a little about yourself. What do you do for work?
Have to clear my throat. With
the beer.
A little sippy sip.
With a little sip.
I am, right now I'm subbing, but I've worked as a 7th and 8th grade math teacher. And also worked in high schools teaching math. So.
That's rough.
So yeah, that's a little bit I
7th and 8th grade just sounds like little monsters.
They are, but it's way better than like the smaller monsters, which are first grade, second
Well, the
grade.
older ones you have a little bit, you can see that they have a little bit more self-control, right?
They're more independent.
Yeah.
And that's, like barely independent, but not to a point where there's kids like tugging on your side, like, she's looking at me funny. And
that's an interesting story. It's just the other day.
trying to pull kids, but the thing is, like, the little ones, they'll love you, like, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time I did first grade, and I didn't even know I got the job for first grade. It was just at a K through 8 school, and normally I do 7 to high school when I sub.
Yeah.
Or 7 to 12th grade. But this assignment, it just said it was like a vacancy, or like a vacant slot. So it's just like, just show up and then they give you the assignment. And so the first assignment I had at that school was first grade for like the first half of the day. Then I had 5th grade for the remainder of the day. So the first grade was nuts, man. Like, I just didn't know what the heck was going on. It was like, I'm looking, the kids are going crazy. And then it didn't help that the teacher's son was in that same class too.
Oh, so he was the cool kid.
Uh-huh.
Either the cool kid or the nerd.
No, he was a nerd. Yeah.
Dang, roasted.
But,
shout out to, I'm just kidding.
But, yeah, he was a nerd. He was like the only one doing his work because he knew better.
Yeah.
But then like with middle school and high school kids, you just gotta get a little loud and then they'll stop.
Yeah.
And
so with the middle school and high school kids, you're dealing with cell phones too, aren't you?
Yeah, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. And I don't know if you probably experienced that.
Well, I remember being in high school and I didn't have I could have had like a just texting phone, whatever, back in the day. You had that T9 texting ability.
So my name is Manuel. I'm going to interrupt here. I've been teaching for 15 years, so I remember the times when we didn't have the cell phones in the classroom. I remember they were beginning to appear, and then we didn't know they would be a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, they are a problem. But, initially you want to use all technology in your classroom, and people start talking about, we need to start using the cell phones. But then not all the kids had them back then, but these days, even your middle school kids have cell phones. Everybody has cell phones.
I've seen kids in 5th grade that have cell phones. And for those that don't have cell phones, they have, like, each school, or a lot of schools have been given grants that allow them to buy technology. And, like, one-to-one, like, one-to-one depending on the school, whether it's like an Apple school or Google, they'll buy them Chromebooks. and so the kids get to take these home.
Yeah, things have changed a lot.
And it's crazy because before, in middle school, you would see kids running around, playing basketball, playing soccer, playing football, whatever was in, and interacting with each other. And now, all you see is kids on the Chromebooks, like, playing games and stuff.
Well, in a way, isn't that preparing them for the future, though? Because we're so, like, technology, driven these days.
Well, that's just crazy to me, like, just how much it shifted. Like, we weren't allowed to bring, like, Pokemon cards to school.
Oh, I
when
got in
was
trouble.
growing up.
I got in trouble for bringing a yo-yo.
Yeah.
Like, remember that year? There was a phase where everybody was bringing their yo-yo, doing tricks and everything.
Yeah.
They had like yo-yo holsters on their belt.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the kids too, because like that saying goes, like that's like some of the reasons why we can nice things, because the kids who use them as weapons. Like a recent trend was the kendamas. Do you remember those?
No, I don't.
It was I forgot what they call them in Spanish, but it's like the
Oh, I know what you're saying.
the
Little
one,
bouncing.
yeah, like where you try to make it
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
stick. You have the ball. Eventually, they banned those at the school that I was working at because kids were whacking each other with them.
Oh my god.
I
Yeah,
think it was only a valley thing, 'cause I don't think it ever came to, like,
yeah. I'm sure it did.
yeah.
It was probably about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a big hit. Like if it's happening out there, I'm pretty sure it's happening out here too.
Yeah.
And it's like anything that's going on that's trending, and that's the thing is like, as you work at schools, especially middle schools, it's like you see what's going on. Like one thing I'm thankful for is that Kiki dance, whatever,
Oh, yeah.
challenge, whatever. I'm glad it came out during the summer, because all the kids would have been all over that, and it would have just gotten annoying.
So this stuff like only lasts for 2 months, though. Like the
Yeah.
roll phases. Before it used to be like a year of yo-yo, a year of Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now
Yeah.
it's like every month or something new.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it feels like Fortnite's here to stay, though.
It's
yeah,
been around.
yeah.
Well, they
Fortnite.
monetize that. That's why.
Well, Fortnite's different because it's kind of like video games. Video games, if it's a big hit, it'll be around for a long
Yeah,
time.
Minecraft.
Like look at where Halo's at right now.
True.
Call of
you
Duty
know.
Big Red 1 was like the big first the design of it was like so realistic or whatnot, and then after that it had that multiplayer, online gaming.
Yeah, which one?
Call of Duty used to be called
Oh.
Big Red 1. It was used to be
Oh.
on the one console. Now,
Yeah.
ever since you network in to online gaming.
I think it's been called Call of Duty for a long time.
Yeah, no, it's been called Call of Duty.
I feel like
Medal of Honor. I can't remember what.
No,
it's
Medal of
called.
Honor is a different
different
series. Yeah.
I remember it though becoming like the Call of Duty name was a sub name or something like that, and it just became its own thing.
No, I think it's been its own thing this whole time.
Let me look it up while we're talking
Yeah,
about it.
research that. But
First Call of Duty game.
yeah, like all the funny trends that you see going on, it's pretty silly to see the kids, and sometimes it's annoying.
I think you see that more in the middle schools than in the high schools.
Yeah.
You don't see it as much at the high schools. They
Yeah.
play games. The freshmen, especially, they're middle schoolers.
Yeah.
But then there's a transition from the whole freshman to your
Okay, you're right.
senior and sophomore.
Call of Duty 1 and 2 and
Yeah.
Big Red 1 and
well, in high school, it's like that's when like people get into like cliques and like everything's kind of more like
Yeah, you leave the childish things, but the gamers
Yeah.
are still the gamers.
Yeah.
They're the ones that gather after school in the video game club. You know?
I see. So in this area in Paso Robles, I've already talked to a few people who are trying to get Dungeons and Dragons going.
oh yeah.
I'm sure
I
there's
remember back in
Jake,
back in high
yeah.
school, there were like that was more of like a your mom's basement kind of thing. But
Yeah.
now it's like at LXV Wine, there's a group of guys that gets
Yeah.
together
yeah.
and plays Dungeons and Dragons.
I heard Dungeons and Dragons pretty fun.
Yeah,
It
Like
is fun.
if you
there's a
get
lot of
into it.
information to learn, isn't there?
Okay, so Dungeons and Dragons, if a kid starts playing early, the vocabulary is advanced, their
Mhm.
imagination is advanced, communication skills they're advanced. I did have a group of kids playing last year and the year before, and I can tell you by I think of their names, intelligent kids, creative, talented. So I'm not saying every person that plays Dungeons and Dragons is that way, but a lot of the kids that play, they're kind of on the
You,
smart
you,
side.
you don't get worried it sometimes becomes like an antisocial thing, like it just becomes that immediate group of friends?
No, I think it's the opposite. Because
you're more willing.
Because if they find more people that have similar interests, and even though people may think that there aren't a lot of people playing Dungeons and Dragons, there's a lot of people that are into it or are willing to get into
To me,
it.
it kind of feels like it's a second life. Like people, like when I've seen even at work, I have some employees that play D&D, and they're talking. It's like, "Hey, I murdered you the other day," or something like, "Hey, I revived you the other day." They're just making these little terms or these like little references, and I'm like, I just look at them and walk away. I know they're talking about it.
Okay.
But the fact that the way they're talking about it kind of makes it like,
you know what?
weird.
I played D&D when I was a lot younger. I did. And as a matter of fact, no, exactly. But you know what? My reading ability was advanced. And a lot of it had to do because I needed to learn. I needed to read these manuals, and it made a big difference to me.
Yeah.
And so the kids in my web design 2 class, they make projects and they get to pick the projects, but they were D&D related projects. Like I could generate a character.
By the way, Manuel teaches web design. I don't know if you've mentioned that yet.
Yeah, I'm the other +1. Okay. As a matter of fact, I was Diego's teacher. So
Oh wow.
yeah, he was a freshman my first year at Kalinga High School. So I've been teaching. This is my 15th year at Kalinga High School. I've taught web design 2, computer programming, computer applications 1 and 2. And then I had one stint teaching Excel at a community college and then at adult school. I did that several years. So that's my background. I have a computer background. I learned how to program at 10 years old. And the D&D, I did it at, I think it was middle school when I was playing D&D. Probably gave it up around high school sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get with the chicas instead.
You know what? Okay, so I was
There's always so much. There's only so much time you should put with the bro.
You know what? I tried getting my girlfriend to play D&D, but she wouldn't do it. But it's okay.
Did you see that change though with the comic community too? On Netflix, there was this documentary where they talk about CinemaCon and how before it used to be just a group of people that read comics or are all about Marvel, DC, or any other franchise that includes comic books. That today it's a whole different thing. It's like it's ventured out to cosplay. It's ventured out to video games.
If you think about it, like
screen.
all the nerds back then in my time.
Mm-hmm. They're the cool people now.
Yeah, we're the generation that produced these movies. We made our imagination or our dreams into a reality. Yeah, we have the technology to actually make Spider-Man, and he could swing from building to building. There was a point where he looked ridiculous. The 1970s Spider-Man,
Adam West,
the cartoon,
Adam West,
Captain America.
Oh,
they were terrible.
Yeah,
but if you're a kid, you're growing up, that's still kind of cool.
Some of those cartoons were like the best thing around.
Cartoons.
I watched Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon. When I was a kid.
But the live action, it was bad. If you look back at Lou Ferrigno Hulk, the Lou Ferrigno Thor, there was a Thor there.
Yeah, I remember.
It's terrible. The
Wait,
Spider-Man.
was the Thor?
He looked more.
It was a Thor.
He looked more Viking, really.
Yeah, well, that's true to the historical part because it's a Norse god.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't like the comic book. If you look at what they're doing now, they're pretty close to the comic book.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's why we love it. If they deviate way too much, we kind of don't like it. At least I don't.
I think a big thing that helps with Marvel movies and DC movies is the male lead takes his shirt off at least once.
I've never noticed.
The only reason I say this is because it does. The Venom. I don't know if you guys watched Venom with Tom Hardy.
No.
He had a sweater on the entire time.
He had a sweater on?
He had a sweater on the entire time, and guess what? I got negative feedback as far as the movie itself. But I think it would have made a difference if he took his shirt
really?
off. I'm just going to put that out.
I'm a huge Marvel fan, and
Tom Hardy was a perfect pick. I'm going to say that right now. Yes, he was.
I don't really buy it, really, man.
Everybody else around him, terrible. The antagonist, the supporting cast, he did a good job. So
I thought the story was just pretty
2.
bad.
How are the special effects?
It was pretty good, actually. Yeah.
You know what's a good show with Tom Hardy in it? Peaky Blinders.
Oh, yeah, watching that right now. That is good.
It's good.
Is that new or older?
I think it's pretty old.
I think
Not super old.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Peaky Blinders.
You should watch it.
Have you watched
Blinders.
Taboo?
Taboo?
Yeah.
No.
He's also in that. I hear that one's really good too.
The first movie I saw him in was Inception. Where
Yeah.
he has this rocket launcher shooting in, the drain. He's
Yeah.
trying to like fight off this like police force that your brain subconsciously creates to protect you
Yeah.
from outside.
The first time I actually saw him was in Batman.
As Bane.
Yeah.
Oh,
as
yeah.
Bane.
Yeah.
And I was watching.
DC sucks though.
I was watching Peaky Blinders, and it said Tom Hardy, but I didn't like research what character he played. But he was playing Solomon. Have you seen him in it?
No, not yet.
No.
I'm not that far in.
Grundy.
No, he's a Jew.
In the peak.
Yeah, in Peaky Blinders, but he also talks like this. And it kind of sounds like Bane.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's Tom Hardy right there.
Ever since Tom Hardy came out with that Warrior movie where he's one of the brothers, I can't remember the last name they used, but he's one of the brothers from the main lead guys, whatever. And
From
he,
what
he
movie?
got Warrior,
Oh,
MMA fight, MMA style movie.
Yeah.
So he was a Marine. He got he went DOA. Or DOA? Is that DOA? He left. AWOL. Sorry, DOA.
Yeah, AWOL.
What's DOA? That's something else.
Dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival. Well, that movie arrived and we killed. Anyway, but he was. After I saw him in that movie, I'm like, this is gonna open like so many more things for him. So now he comes out with Bane and Batman. He comes out with Venom. Like you can totally tell when they come out with this one movie, whether they're the main or not the main guy, you can tell something's gonna happen.
He's gonna get something good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Venom. I'm curious, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you showed me that you have like all these comic books in hiding.
Yeah, I do.
And
But
the whole time you were asking me questions about the movie, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you know more.
you know what? If you're in a relationship, things slow down in terms of like watching the movies you want to watch.
Hey, I just live with you, okay? I wasn't
Okay.
in a relationship.
Call it anything but a
You have to
relationship.
wait because even like with Peaky Blinders, I wait for her to be able to watch the next show with me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I could just binge watch it.
Yeah.
It's only 6 episodes a season too.
Oh.
It's like hour and a half long episodes, but they're good, man.
Peaky.
Peaky.
Yeah, I
They have like the peaky hats.
Oh, okay.
I think
And
we're
so-
on, like, a few.
So, like the story behind that is that they would go and blind people because they would put razors in their peaky hats.
Oh.
They hit you with it.
Yeah, they hit you with it, or if they like get you, they'll cut you up and stuff.
Yeah.
And they show that too.
Yeah.
It's
Fight with the brothers, right?
yeah, with the gypsies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm all like, whoa, he pulled out his little hat and starts swiping at him. But there's razor blades there.
it's good, man. Wait till you get to, is it the? I think
We're
it's the
still
fourth.
early because
It's the 4th season.
okay. Oh no,
It-
we haven't even got close to that.
No, well, it's only 6 episodes.
Okay, well,
So-
we're at the point where the detective is brought in and they're.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not a
I'm
spoiler.
gonna
It's not a
start
spoiler.
watching it though, just
Yeah.
only because you guys brought it up. And
It's-
the next time we talk, I'm gonna bring it up.
It's not a spoiler, but like that's part of the
I'm tired.
that series. So it gets good, man. Oh man,
Well, we're gonna watch.
I'm gonna watch it again just because it's that good.
I was telling Diego and Maria on the way over, there are very few things that I watch, more than once. I don't watch movies twice, but there are a few things, and obviously you like it that much to watch it more than one time.
Yeah. Well, like each time you watch a series that you like, you pick up something that you didn't pick up before. Like a series that I've watched over 3 times is Scrubs. Scrubs.
I mean, it's good. Okay, so for me, it would have to be like How I Met Your Mother. I see reruns on TV now that I have cable because I usually don't watch cable, but at night I'll fall asleep to the TV. I don't know why, but I watch reruns and it's like the first time I'm seeing it. It's hilarious.
Really?
I don't know why. To me, it's funny. But then if I switch over to like It's Sunny in Philadelphia or It's Always Sunny, I can't watch it. It's to me it's the It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Like,
no, it is
understand.
funny. It's hilarious. Like I like the humor that goes on with it. Also, Parks and Rec is another show. Like I watched a few episodes, but I don't binge watch it.
yeah.
A series that I can go back each time is also Band of Brothers.
I've
never seen that. I've always wanted to see it,
It's Amazon Prime. It's on Prime.
I have Amazon. Am I still signed in Amazon Prime over there?
I don't know.
Pretty sure. I'll give you the password anyway.
Yeah. I have one too.
Oh, you do?
We're good. But I'm in your Hulu.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So as far as Amazon Prime though, like the other day I was trying to explain to somebody how much it's worth to have Amazon Prime. People are like, oh, but it's like $79 a year or something like that. And I'm like, do you know how much in shipping you save? Do you know how much like
And you
If
get
you
it
order
fast.
it,
if you order enough? But I
I
order
order
for
enough,
work.
yeah.
Yeah, I order for work and I order for myself,
Yeah.
personal, like pants and whatever. Because I go to there's not big retail stores around here that that really call my attention. But
Yeah.
online, and especially now that Amazon tried or is pushing out this try it before you buy it situation with the clothes. I'm
That's
like,
cool.
Okay, I might try it. But I ordered like today. I ordered a pair of pants. One size smaller, obviously, because I need to. I just want to mention that.
Post a picture, Mickey.
Just saying. Follow me on MR Miguel Nunez. But I do want to try shirts, sweaters, other pants, other style of pants, because I know the styles vary. The same size doesn't fit you the same.
That's true. I like the white pocket in the front, tight in the back,
Yeah.
for my build.
He's very serious about that one.
Give yourself a little tug.
He likes the chaps.
If need be. Nah, man, I'm going to my sister. My sister's getting married in a couple of weeks.
Shout out to
me. Because I'm in it.
No, yeah.
I'm not in it, but I have to
You're just
have
a
the
Cowboy boots.
the full
Those
cowboy.
cowboy
Oh
boots.
wait, so cowboy
A wedding
boots,
and
jeans,
cowboy
or like
Yeah,
dress
jeans.
pants, jeans?
jeans. I got my hat and everything.
Are you excited for it?
I just need a horse, man. I don't have a horse.
You need a horse?
Ow.
Like,
Well, it'd be
you
nice to
need-
show up in a horse. It's not a horse carriage, but
Oh, okay. No, you want to show up riding a horse.
yeah.
Is that mandatory though? Like,
No.
Okay, I just
haven't ridden a horse in a long time. When was the last time I rode a horse? I was probably like 12 years old.
Yeah,
Never.
I've never ridden a horse.
How about you?
But,
No, never. Like,
I have.
I'm honestly kind of scared.
yeah.
I
Well,
guess.
I want to.
They're big. When you get on them, you notice how big they are.
They're
Yeah.
majestic creatures, man.
Yeah.
They're
Well, it
awesome.
depends. If you ride one in Rosarito, it's not majestic.
No,
Still.
it wasn't there. It was in Mexico. My dad's from Guanajuato,
Shout out to Guanajuato.
and my cousins, they have horses, and so my uncle was like, take them to go ride horses. So I'm like, all right. So there were three of us, and he had two horses, and so we put the saddles on, and we took them for a ride, and then we raced them, and it was fun.
If you ever on a running horse, it's crazy. Yeah.
It is scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, man.
On a running horse.
Yeah, a horse that's going like full throttle,
Yeah, I've done that before.
and
Dang.
and it's like you just want to see what it's like, and even though they tell you like be careful, and you just like it's like ice skating. Have you ever done ice
But
skating?
you know what happens
Never
when,
been ice skating.
when the horse is running? After a while, it's just
Yeah, it's like a
the
you're
cowboys,
coasting.
Yeah, it's like easy.
You're coasting.
Initially, when it first starts running, you feel the pull and there's a tension and everything, and after a while,
And you go like 1.5 G, but then
it
after,
settles into a rhythm and it's good.
it feels like you're in the air.
Yeah, it's
like-
been rare for me.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's pretty fun.
Dude, how do we get to horses? We're talking about like movie. We're just going all over. Huh?
Yeah, well, that's what it's about. So, yeah, no, we were talking about your sister's getting what?
Oh,
married.
we're talking about
Sister getting married, and then before that, it started going from like I don't know,
It was kind
dressing
of
up clothing from Amazon. See, like it's
Yeah.
funny how like we just pinball
You know,
everywhere.
that's the way the internet works. The whole hyperlink thing. Yeah, you see a link with this keyword, bam, different
It's
thoughts.
like one time I had the kids. It was a day I didn't feel like teaching, and
You put a movie on.
no, no, I'm just kidding. I always feel like teaching.
He's
And
looking for work.
For those of you looking for passive, I keep telling you, move to passive.
What I had the kids do wiki races. Have you ever done a wiki race?
No, but
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume you go on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
and
you go to
try to-
Wikipedia and you just hit random article. So everyone hits random article, and then you give them a topic. So for example, I'll say like a Yugo. You know what a Yugo is?
No.
A car.
It's like a piece of shit
Yeah. I
car
was gonna
from
say that.
Yugoslavia, like
Really inexpensive.
Soviet
Shout out
era.
to Yugoslavia.
It didn't last very long.
Really?
No shout out to Yugoslavia.
You
They're
bought those
communists. No, but
So you go, and then what they
yeah.
what they
And
do
so
after
then
that?
what
Have
they
to get
have,
there?
the only thing they could do is click on links.
and try to get there
From a random.
Dude,
Yeah,
that sounds so fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So
And they get there?
Yeah,
That is
well,
crazy.
one of them did.
That'd be hard.
Like I started it off easy. I'll
Yeah.
do like World Cup because it wasn't World Cup. It was like it was soccer, something about soccer.
yeah.
Because we had just watched the soccer game in that class.
Oh, that's
Oh,
terrible.
you were
That's-
teaching though.
Huh?
You were teaching.
Yeah,
soccer.
but he was teaching about.
math.
Yeah,
The
sure.
statistics.
Yeah, statistics.
Yeah.
The
No,
percentage
well,
of.
I'll come back. I'll come back to that one. How we ended up watching soccer that day. But
I wouldn't.
so you give them a topic and you just say like World Cup,
No.
and so the kids start clicking. They had iPads, so they're like touching it.
No.
I got it. I was like, really? How many? 3. Nice. And then you give them like a harder one, and they go and they try to get to that. Like let's say clock.
Yeah.
They have to try to get to clock just by clicking
On links.
on links.
That is
Nothing
insane.
I've never thought of that.
else. You never heard about that?
Right now, I
It's
have.
fun. You should do it.
I started with bipolar, and I'm trying to get to carbohydrate. It's very difficult.
You can get there, but it's a lot of fun. Anyway, how we ended up watching soccer that day. I was watching it prior to the kids coming in because I had these kids, and these were my GATE students, like my advanced kids.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I tell them like we need to be done by this time, they'll get their work done. They'll get everything turned in, and they will all work.
So you
And-
like them better than the others?
Yeah. And
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. We're
No,
He does.
no, but that class had some characters, man. Like I was laughing the whole time, and there was this one kid in there who was just hilarious, and he knew how to make me laugh, and that's the toughest part. When a kid knows he can make you laugh, because
Don't milk it.
So,
yeah,
Yeah. So
and what's that?
speaking of the kid in your class, when I went to go visit you guys on Wednesday night, was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
You guys said, I'm not going to say his name or her name or whatever. And then literally 3 sentences later, you say their name.
But that's a joke.
That was a joke? Okay, I just want to make sure. I look over at Kirsten, I'm like, they're saying the name. Like, what am I supposed to...
Yeah, we do that even in our classroom. I'm not gonna say the name, but this person got an F. Julio.
Yeah, Julio, don't do that. You know, or whatever. Like, that's what I got. I'm like, okay.
And it's like I'm not gonna point.
Okay, so
I'm not
when-
gonna point any fingers. Like as you're pointing and looking at the student as you're addressing the class.
So when you teach, it has to be a balance between entertainment and information.
Yeah.
And so you learn these little things and you play with them.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I know he does the same kind of.
I had
That's how you do it, probably.
I had
I'm sure you learn from many teachers.
I had this girl. It was a work day,
Uh-huh.
and I did a quick lesson.
What's a work day?
A work day when I just give them like problems to work on, rather than like I different or I find it different from like doing group work or doing like lessons where it's more interactive.
Yeah.
It's like when I just want them to be on their own and kind of do their own thing. If they need help with a problem, they can just ask their neighbor. Their neighbor can answer, then they ask me.
I have work days
Just
too.
the work days are more quiet, more mellow days, and so like on a work day, this girl, she asked, if you hear panting, by the way, it's a dog, not us.
It's Diego.
And
Looking at porn.
And so this girl, she asked, Mr. Hernandez, why do you hate us? Or why do you hate this class? So I don't hate this class. I only hate you. And she was like, oh my God, that's so mean. But like the thing is, that's what I like about middle school, high school, is that you can joke with them like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can make little jokes like that, and they know you're kidding for the most part. And
But if you do kindergarten or first grade or second grade,
they'll
They'll cry.
They'll
take
cry.
it personal. They'll tell their parents. All of a sudden, you got the boosters on your ass.
Exactly. They'll cry. Social services will come in, and
they gotta separate you from the class.
yeah, and they're like, you can't be here, man. But that's the cool thing about teaching secondary, is that you can get away with stuff like that.
Yeah.
And roasting the kids, you know.
Well, we gotta have a thick skin too with them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and so it helps build character. You know, getting made fun of every now and then. As long as you don't push it and make it apparent that you're picking on the kid, you know, and you don't want to do that. You usually do that with kids that you like.
You still have to be careful in high school, because you know what? They learn that they have a lot of power. As a teacher, we really don't have a lot of power. It's just perceived, implied, but it's not really.
You can tell somebody, don't do that, but they know you can't stop them.
Not everybody. A lot of the kids are respectful. At least in my school, they are.
Yeah.
But we really have very little power as a teacher. It sucks.
So I see this show called Fresh Off the Boat.
Mm-hmm.
It's about this Asian family that I think moved
Don't be
to
racist,
they moved to LA from Miami to LA, I think it was, and he was in middle school, and I think he was like I want to say 8th grade, like first semester, and the counselor's trying to tell him like, hey, you gotta work hard, you gotta get better grades, blah blah, and he goes, you know what? Do these? He started thinking to himself, do these affect my college applications? No. Well, technically no. Only high school. Okay, so he just coasted with C's the rest of the semesters.
Get down.
It's like he figured it out.
Yeah.
That was interesting. And a lot of kids don't, obviously they don't realize it, but does middle school
and that's the thing, it doesn't.
The habit, work habits, and yes,
it does.
The longevity of habits, of good habits.
Okay, so I do tell the kids, you know what? The grades that matter are the semester grades in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Your progress report, because I grade by semester,
yeah.
which means if you have like a screwed up first quarter, even like progress report second quarter, you have a chance of coming back to get your A. Just turn in all the work
From the first one, right?
Yeah, I grade by semester, and I know that in our lives things happen. Your dad leaves, whatever. But your semester grade is going to matter, especially your junior. I think junior and senior year are the ones that really matter. The other ones don't. But I never tell them that.
They don't do.
Well, even as a high schooler, that's what I was aware of. As a freshman and sophomore.
But I
transcripts.
think what Miggy was talking about was
Middle
middle
school.
school.
Middle school,
Like-
elementary.
like
they don't.
those-
College applications. Their college institutions don't look at that, right?
They don't, but
Unless you're in sports.
no.
But I think your work habits.
No, even then, but yeah, you develop those work habits
Yeah.
that will make you successful in high school. That eventually will transfer to college.
But you know what? I think the kids that could get away with it are the kids that are they're smart.
Yeah.
And they, you mentioned, there are kids that, okay, I realize what's going on here. I'm going to work the system.
Yeah.
My nephew was like that.
Really?
He goes, he knew what mattered, and he would do the calculation. Oh, I got a syllabus. Homework is what percent of the grade? He would do the calculation. I only need this.
Testing is 75% of the grade or whatever it is,
And so he would just work it that way, And he was smart enough to do that kind of stuff, but not everybody could get away with it.
Yeah.
I think there are people that
Are self-aware.
but there are people that struggle academically, and for them, the homework grade means a lot, because when they get to a test, they don't do well, right?
Oh, yeah, because they don't retain any of the information.
Well, they struggle. They're
Some
people are just
they're unable
bad
to.
test takers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then there are the kids that give me a test.
Yeah.
I'll pass it,
I was that kid.
Yeah.
I hated homework.
And if you figure out that homework is less than 10% of the grade, you can minimize the homework and still get an A. You know?
Yeah.
So I think every kid's different. I mean, as a teacher, after the first quarter, we have a general idea of everybody's ability.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see, like, okay, you see it. I right now, there's a couple of names in my head for this year.
Yeah.
That
they ace the test, but don't want to do homework.
No, these kids are just a level above everybody else. And I'm not sure.
Like, I have two of my students, they're sophomores taking pre-cal.
Huh.
Yeah.
Just for fun?
Well, because they're capable of doing it.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
Especially with this one girl, her name's Jessica.
We won't name her.
But that's just a cover-up name. And so
Jessica, what do you want?
and but she was brilliant, man. Sometimes she would come up. The thing is that you have to teach at a level
For everybody.
for everyone.
Yeah.
So
it's like I can't give them this problem with exponents with like 10 different variables or 5 different variables
mm-hmm.
and try to have them use 1 to 3 different properties of exponents to simplify this expression.
So when I went to, I want to say Westmont College.
Westmont?
Yeah. I don't know.
Westmont?
I think it was Westmont.
Yeah, and in Santa Barbara?
Yeah, it's like seminar-based classes,
Wait,
and that caught my attention.
Westmont?
I think
You were at a
But-
Westmont?
So
Well, I went to a
It's-
leadership
it's by-
institute for the summer.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's by,
I didn't go there.
it's in Santa
I
Barbara.
went and stayed in the dorms
Oh,
for a
okay.
10-day
I have a
leadership
crazy story
program.
about Westmont.
Well, we can talk
But
about
we'll talk
that.
about that.
But I-
Wait, so
found
you're
out-
on Westmont.
I found out they have a seminar-based, or they have a lot of seminar-based classes, and that was a new term for me, and that was back between 9th and 10th grade. So for me, that caught my attention because it was more hands-on. Now, do you think high school should kind of try that, adapt to that sometimes? Because I know a lot of things change, but they haven't. To me, they haven't really changed from what I'm doing.
So I was talking to Diego about this recently.
Uh-huh.
There's a big push for differentiation in instruction. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so when you have a class of 34 kids, then I have to determine. Initially, it's an assessment,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to determine how this kid learns. Is he visual, kinesthetic, auditory? You know.
Yeah.
And out of these 34 kids, you kind of lump them into little groups. And you make assignments that kind of like hit each of their learning modalities. That's what you try to do. And we do our best. Actually, we try. I mean, I teach with visual aids. You know, I have a projector and I do auditory. I do a lecture. We do kinesthetic. We type it in. I'm not going to freaking do music, though. I'm not going to sing, hey, H-T-M-L
You never
is
know,
the way to
because
go.
back in high school,
That's what I was talking about, right?
yeah.
In that class, I had to reach out to everyone because even though that was like my honors math class of 8th graders, there were still some kids that were pretty low.
Yeah,
And
we
so
have a broad range.
I have to find a way to get to those kids, but also
challenge the ones that are
challenge
ahead.
the ones up here.
Right.
And so it's like, all right,
So with that, would you think about doing like team assignments?
yes and no. There's
Oh, gosh.
there's
Because
a
with team assignments, they obviously you don't tell them who's their leader. You see that happening on its own.
with middle
You see
school
that manifest itself.
with middle school and high school kids. You have to tell them who's who.
Okay.
You have
Okay.
to assign the roles. At least, well, I know you don't do group work,
I tried.
but
You tried?
Yeah, initially I tried. The first few years I did, I established like a leader.
Mhm.
And they were color coded, but it didn't work.
Have you ever tried letting them establish a leader?
No, I haven't tried that.
you can't
You
do
can't
that with
at all?
middle school,
It-
high school kids.
Okay,
It'll be chaos.
I think the problem I had was because we do coding,
Mhm.
right? And yes, in any group, there are the kids that do I'm gonna coast and let everybody else do the work. And
Yeah.
then there are the kids that I want an A. I will do all the work if it's required.
So you know what I did to stop that, or to prevent that. What I did is afterwards is like a follow up assignment. You do a Google form, you put your name on it along with your group
And you
members.
grade everybody else based on participation.
Yeah. If they leave a comment, this student did nothing at all, that person gets a 0.
Well, now you can.
Why did
But
I
now
get
you
a 0?
can.
there's a problem with that though.
Now you
What's
can.
that?
Because if a kid did do work and other kids just don't like him, the kid
No,
did.
but then that's why you also have to circle the room.
Yeah, you have to do that. Now,
And you kind of look at each one, and if it's like a multiple day project, then what you have to do is you have to do one every day. Now, it is a bit of work.
I'll tell you guys a little story. Back when I was like in elementary school, I remember this one. We had a group assignments in math class. I don't know how that's possible. We had like equations we needed to find out or find the solutions to. And I remember, I haven't talked to him in a very long time, probably since middle school. But his name was Juan Carlos. He was this Asian dude, right?
yeah.
And
He's a cool guy.
yeah, and I remember him doing most of the work. And I remember I went up to the teacher and presented the work. And in the middle, in front of the whole class, I remember her pointing me out that I presented the work and it was done and everything. And I look over to Juan Carlos and he's just happy that it was even mentioned. But I got the credit, like as far as the group.
Yeah.
I got the credit, like the verbal credit,
The perceived credit.
the perceived credit. Yeah. And I was just like, oh yeah, cool, whatever. But I look over and this guy did all the work.
Yeah,
See,
but he still got a good grade, right?
He still got a good grade.
That's
the
all
whole
that
group got a
matters for
good
him.
grade. And he was just happy with the fact that the teacher mentioned this specific group, but she pointed me out.
Yeah, well, he knew it. It was intrinsic credit for him.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And when it comes like that, when it's obvious that the 3 of the students of the 4 are working, then it's like, all right, those 3 get the credit.
That's why I don't do group work.
But at the same
I
time,
pair them up.
But at the same time, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them college and career ready,
To work in a team.
and to work in a team.
Yeah.
And
most of the jobs that come afterwards are team based.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you know what? In coding, it's hard unless it's a really big project, and then you could do group work. But for the most part,
it's still a team, Rick, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well,
In coding, yeah, it's a team. A lot of it is. But you know what? In developing the skills, you need to do it. You need to do it all. You need to do it all. And when you go out into the workforce, you might get a small segment of it, but if you have exposure to everything, and you're assigned to one part, hey, you should be good at everything. You don't know what you're going to be assigned to.
you should have the skills, right? But you should also know how to work as a team.
Yeah, but I understand. Like, okay, so at the end of the year, you guys all have a project.
Yeah.
In my class, so the project is like 2 people. Every now and then it's 3, depending on the class. But it's going to be 2. And so, but even working with 2 people, sometimes it doesn't work. Kids aren't able to work with somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's it's all personality. I mean, I do tell them, you're going to have to, with my kids in the beginning of the year, I talk to them and I go over the rules and everything. And you know what my kids have to do? At the end of the day, when they leave, they have to say bye to me. They have to say, hey, have a good day, have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Whether you like me or not. It's all part of working with an employer, of working with other people that you don't like.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm going to grade you and you're a little jerk, and you got 79.9999%. I'm not going to give you the B if you didn't even look at me or acknowledge me. I will give you the B if you're a professional and you say, hey, have a good weekend. Because you're going to work with people you don't like.
Absolutely.
And if you can't even acknowledge your teacher, you got issues there.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
No,
and it's funny because
he was my employee. That's what he's mentioning. Like, I can.
Yeah, I was just kidding. But I mean,
I'm sure
I agree.
you heard, of bosses within, our industry that aren't the greatest in any industry, really.
Sure.
That there's that big saying: people don't quit their jobs; they quit their bosses.
I mean, yeah, even if I'm having just a terrible day and I still will go up to my managers and be like, hey, before I go, is there anything else you guys need before I go?
You know what? Those little things make a big difference. And when I talk to my kids about this kind of stuff, you're going to work with people you do not like, but you still have to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was probably the best advice I'd ever gotten. I was at a film festival and the VP of post-production for Disney, former VP, was there, and he was just telling me like, hey man, like, you know, the reason why I've gotten so far where I am right now in life is, you know, first, I wasn't always the first one there, but, you know, I would see my boss, you know, working, and he would be the last one there, and I just knock on the door, hey, is there anything you need help with, you know?
So the lesson to this right now is be nice to your boss. Be nice to your boss. We're going to take a little break. We reached 45 minutes in about 30 seconds. So I'm going to open a new bottle of wine, and we'll continue this in part 2. Thank you guys for listening to Miguel's Moment Plus One and my guest. Stay tuned for more guests, and I hope you enjoy your day. Stay positive, and love you guys.